Okay, we're back from our break, and we return for the public comment section. If you have information that you need, the city needs to be made aware of, this would be that opportunity. If you'll come to the microphone, and then we'll let you tell us your name and address, and we'll go from there. Jennifer, you're up.
My name is Jennifer Mullin, and I live at 1367 Clay Street. Okay, I want to talk about 4 issues. One is the noise ordinance. It's on my phone. I lost the sheet of paper. I don't know what happened to it, but I had it. But it says that people are breaking the noise ordinance where I live, and all I want is the police to give out tickets so people can actually wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to work. So I just want you to try to talk to the police officers and ask them to give out tickets instead of just giving them warning. Okay? 3, I donated Bibles to the Drug Enforcement Task Force. They didn't accept it because they had Bibles, believe it or not, but they do. So I would like to get more funding for the Drug Enforcement Task Force, and I would like one of you city commissioners to help me find funding to give to the Drug Enforcement Task Force, because they're doing a very good job and they need more funding. Okay? 3, the police force need a fraud department, and I'm still going to fight it. Fraud department, this area needs, because cops, I think it's 1,000 people, 1,000 cars for fraud that happens. And it would be so much easier if you have 1 or 2 cops just for fraud. 3, the police force give money to the small business development. Now, I would like to find funding for the small business development. They should have a room for computers and some part-time working for websites. So they should have that, and that's what I'm going to do. So, 3, the Fairness Act. Okay, the Fairness Act. I know that New Hope Church in the community 2 years ago had a guideline that they would kick out gays out of church. And the New Hope Church, somebody goes to that church.
Ms. Moreland, your time has expired. Thank you very much.
Okay. But I just wanted...
Your time has expired.
All right.
Is there anyone else that has a comment that the City Commission needs to be made aware of? Name and address, please, sir.
My name is Matthew Bratcher, 240 Hanover Court.
Can you push that microphone over
Yes.
so we can hear you? What's the name again, please?
Matthew Bratcher, 240 Hanover Court. Thank you guys for allowing me to speak for a moment.
I didn't get your name.
Matthew Bratcher.
Matthew. Okay.
And what's your address, Matthew? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. 240 Hanover Court.
240. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And I'll be real brief. It's been a long meeting. I'm sure you guys are ready to call all night. A crucial component of reforming our nation's criminal justice system is the reform of America's cannabis laws. Over 600,000 Americans are arrested every year for minor cannabis possession offenses. The individuals, overwhelming young people and individuals of color, are often saddled with a lifelong criminal record, as well as the stigma and lost opportunities associated with it, such as a loss of student financial aid or employment. We should not be squandering precious law enforcement and judicial resources to target these otherwise law-abiding citizens. By continuing to prohibit the use, production, and sale of cannabis, we are ceding control to the black market. Doing so denies states crucial tax revenue that could fund important social services and leaves cannabis production and distribution in the control of unregulated dealers who have no incentive to keep it out of the hands of our youth. If our 13-year experiment with alcohol prohibition in this country is deemed a failure, then how else can we define our 80-year-long prohibition on marijuana? It is time to end this failed and morally bankrupt policy by passing a resolution in support of cannabis reform in our state legislators, specifically House Bills 166, its companion bill in the Senate 118, and SB 80. The majority of the people of the Commonwealth and Warren County agree that it's time to legalize and regulate cannabis, and it's time for our state laws to reflect that reality. Thank you guys very much.
Is there anyone else that needed to make a statement this evening? Your name, please, sir.
Kelly Embry, 155 Tyler Drive, Smiths Grove, Kentucky. As I mentioned last time, lifelong resident of Bowling Green and Warren County, and other than 6 years working in Barron County, I've also worked my adult life in and around Bowling Green. Same resolution as last time. I won't read it verbatim, but basically, in conjunction with what Mr. Bratcher was saying, there's been many studies. If you do any research on your own, you'll quickly see that veterans, the elderly, children are benefiting from medicinal marijuana. And our, again, as Mr. Bratcher said, our citizens deserve the liberty to have that choice, should they so choose to seek that type of medicine for their ailments. It can go beyond that. It can be simply an adult use, a liberty choice as well. I feel that, in the very least, I would like to allow you to, I've reached out to you all via email. I've received one response. Thank you, Mayor Wilkerson. I hope you will reconsider, but I would like to defer the rest of my allotted time to allow each of you to just simply give a yay or nay if you would endorse the resolution to send.
This is an opportunity for you to bring information to us.
I assume that would be the response, so I will continue. Again, what we are asking is that you consider a simple support of consolidation of the thoughts and feelings of many of our fellow citizens here in Warren County, here in Bowling Green, and throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky. What medicinal marijuana can do for Kentucky beyond helping sick people is put many of our farmers back to work, put many of our coal miners back to work in processing and production jobs. So it is not a simple medicine issue, but a much broader issue, an economic issue, an agricultural issue, and indeed a philosophical issue that's been built on propaganda that's been going on for about 80 plus years. Lies that were told to demonize a substance that is only harmful because it is illegal. Alcohol, tobacco, much more harmful substances that are readily available on just about every street corner. And because of the demonization and the stigma that has gone along with marijuana and cannabis and even hemp, a completely benign substance as far as quote unquote getting high, those are still obstacles that are being overcome by the citizens of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Those same challenges have been met by citizens in other states, and they have proven that the sky has not fallen. They've shown a 25% decrease in opioid deaths in the state of Colorado alone, and a lot of that attributed to an alternative, a safer alternative with marijuana.
Your time's expired. Thank you for your time. Yes, ma'am, and your name, please?
My name is Lauren Key. I live on 3880 Old Nashville Road.
And get the last name.
Lauren Key.
Key.
Yes, sir.
Right ahead.
Yes, sir. Continuing with the talk track that we've had previously with Mr. Bratcher and Mr. Embry, I'm just here to present some facts to consider as you think about the resolution that we want to pass. One of the big things that legalization can do for our economy, and Kentucky is in a lot of need for economic growth. We know that the legal market for adult and medical use of marijuana accounted for 149,304 jobs in 2017, a 22% increase since 2016. That equates to 26,490 new jobs added over a 12-month period. In 2016, Colorado alone generated over $1.4 billion in combined recreational and medical marijuana sales. This accounted for nearly $200 million in tax and fees revenue, which was mostly designated for new school construction projects in the state. The state is expected to exceed $225 million in tax and fees revenue for 2017. Oregon collected a total of $108.6 million in state and local taxes between January 4th, 2016 and August 31st, 2017. That revenue was divided between multiple agencies and programs. The state school fund receives 40%, or $34 million. Mental health, alcoholism, and drug services receive 20%, or $17 million. Oregon State Police receive 15%, or $12.75 million. And the Oregon Health Authority receives 5%, or $4.25 million. Nevada generated $3.8 million in tax and revenue in just the first month of legal recreational marijuana sales. Legal cannabis markets are estimated to reach sales of $24.5 billion by year 2021. And we just want everybody to know these things so that we can look towards the future of Kentucky and the money that we need so badly here. So the other issue I just wanted to speak briefly on is the opioid problem that we have in Kentucky. According to the Kentucky Office of Drug Control Policy, Kentucky overdose fatalities increased in 2016. Overdose deaths of Kentucky residents, regardless of where the death occurred, and non-residents who died in Kentucky numbered 1,404 as reported to the Office of Vital Statistics in June of 2017. And that compares to 1,248 overdose deaths counted in the 2015 report. So in Warren County alone, there's been about 100 overdose deaths in the past 5 years. With our nation in the midst of a serious opioid crisis, recent research has revealed that access to cannabis is one proven strategy for helping curb the harms caused by opioid abuse. So
Sorry,
some
Ms.
of the...
McKee, your time has expired.
Okay, thank you.
Very much. Is there anyone else that needs to bring information to the City Commission?
Hello, my name is Elliott Morris, 525 Scott Lane.
Say the name again.
Elliott Morris.
Elliott Morris? Thank you.
Yes. I'm here speaking about what the last few speakers have spoke about. Marijuana has been a part of humanity's medicine cabinet for almost as long as history has been recorded. Of all the negative consequences of marijuana prohibition, few are as tragic as the denial of medicinal cannabis to the tens of thousands of patients who would benefit from its therapeutic use. Currently, 30 states and the District of Columbia have implemented a medicinal cannabis program and have an additional 16 states have enacted more limited medicinal cannabis laws for access to CBD to treat qualifying conditions such as intractable epilepsy. Modern research suggests that cannabis is a valuable aid in the treatment of a wide range of clinical applications. These include pain relief, particularly of neuropathic pain, pain from nerve damage, nausea, spasticity, and movement disorders. Marijuana is also a powerful appetite stimulant, specifically for patients suffering from HIV, the AIDS wasting syndrome, or dementia. Emerging research suggests that marijuana's medicinal properties are neuroprotective and may protect the body against some types of malignant tumors. Changes in the legal status of marijuana at the state level have not negatively impacted workplace safety. In fact, a pair of studies from 2016 find that the legalization of medical marijuana access is associated with greater workforce participation and with fewer workplace absences. Most recently, the National Academies of Sciences just released Marijuana and Health report found insufficient evidence to support an association between cannabis use and occupational accidents or injuries. Currently, more than 60 U.S. and international health organizations support granting patients immediate legal access to medicinal marijuana under a physician's supervision. And that's all I've got to say. Thanks so much.
Sir? Anyone else that needs to speak to us tonight?
Yes, Kacie Vo, 436 Dishman Lane, and to further continue on what everyone else,
Will you tell me your last name again, Kacie?
Volk, V-O-L-K.
Thank you, sir.
And I come before you not as, an advocate. I'm here because I'm alive because of it. I was diagnosed with stage 3 blood cancer about 3 years ago. I've been knowingly living with it for like 16, now that I know the evidence. And, going through all the motions of cancer, let's just wrap it up to that. By the time I started radiation, I weighed 248 pounds. When I first found out I had cancer in June, I was 258 pounds. By the end of 15 treatments of radiation, I was down 40 pounds, and all their options exhausted told me to take Ensure and Tylenol. Now, I don't know about anyone, but that's just not really a good answer when I'm having a serious problem. Ensure and Tylenol, well, that's just not working. By the time I made it back to my oncologist, and the numbers were so very clear, something was very wrong, and this was the last option to try, is this medication, Dronabinol. I don't know if anyone here is aware of what Dronabinol is, but it is basically the marijuana plant pulled apart by the pharmaceutical industry to one molecule, THC with a delta-9 receptor, therefore circumventing the law to make it legal to sell. Now, when I got my prescription for it, I have no money, had no coverage for my insurance. I'm like, well, I need relief. 5 days without sleep is not fun. And calling to Sam's Club and for a small 30-day prescription was $1,000. And I thought that was going to be the cheap place. So I went to my local hometown pharmacy, and she came out to me in tears telling me the best she could do was $500. Now, as I was a working man, I worked for another pharmacist, so I was like, well, I got to shop around here. It's only my health. And he was able to help me out with compassion and got the ball rolling. But without this, I would not be here today. It's documented by 4 well-renowned physicians that on my diagnosis, they pulled the tumor out of my leg, and there was a retention zone eating around what, if it was true, I shouldn't be standing here today.
All right, Mr. Volk, your time has expired.
Thank you.
Someone else?
My name's Michael Grambling. My wife and I own a business on 310 East Main Street. 2 years ago, Donald Trump remarked to a crowd of supporters that he could shoot someone in broad daylight on Fifth Avenue and that his base would not waver. On behalf of his followers, he proclaimed the right to act with impunity, to act above the law, to claim a birthright to power, to be white in America. Trump's election didn't invent racism, but it did invite racists across the nation to make America great again, and in broad daylight to do and say exactly what they mean. In Bowling Green, 2 days after Martin Luther King Day, a hate crime targeting the homes of black women at the Crown Royal Apartments was committed in broad daylight. Feces smeared and a racist slur scrawled on the wall alongside the slogan, "Make America Great Again." This particular act of racial hatred has drawn the attention of the media and elicited a well-deserved condemnation from our mayor, for which we are grateful, sir. But while it is true that the slogan, "Make America Great Again," may indeed be the words of a small-minded individual, as the mayor suggests, they are not the words of the perpetrators. They are among the many words and deeds originating from the high station in American leadership that have ignited the climate of hatred and violence towards people of color, refugees, immigrants, persons of the Islamic faith, and the LGBTQ community. This is not a call for impeachment of the president, nor an exhortation to support a particular party. It is a plea that even in the toxic political climate we now endure, that decent people will sit and be able to distinguish right from wrong and to say so out loud in broad daylight. We may not be able to silence the spew of racist vitriol coming from the White House, but we can take responsibility for what comes and for what occurs in our own community. We therefore would like to ask what the commissioners are doing to address racial hatred in our community, and to strongly recommend that they take the following actions if they are not already doing so. 1, a proclamation from the Board of Commissioners and the mayor that not only condemns all hate crimes, but also condemns the climate of hate that enables such crimes to occur. The Bowling Green law enforcement work with the county and WKU to create a clearinghouse by which hate speech and hate crimes can be tracked, that such information be made readily available to our citizens, and that perpetrators be vigorously prosecuted. After all, history teaches us that the words of small-minded individuals are often followed by violent acts that are committed by small-minded individuals. It only takes one lone wolf to rob a mother of her child, a church of its congregates. We cannot wait. We must act now. Thank you.
Anyone else that needs to make a comment? Any other comments?
Planning to speak tonight. My name's Allison Dorsey. I live at 800 Horseshoe Bend Road in Scottsville. I'm a Western graduate and I've lived in Bowling Green different times in my life. And I came in tonight just to look at leadership. It's fun to watch the council and see what you guys are up to and how you go about it. But if we don't stand up against racism, if we don't have a stand when these kinds of things happen in our town, we're not very public about it, then it just gives it permission to keep on going. And I am one white person here to say that that's not okay with me. So I hope that you guys can provide leadership. I'm so excited that the mayor has made a statement. So maybe you can make a collective statement.
Comments tonight? Seeing no one else, we'll close the meeting. Whoop, I'm sorry. Francisco, did you have a comment?
Everybody's eager to get out of here. I'll make it quick. My name is Francisco Serrano. I reside at 572 Moss Creek Avenue. Last time I was here, I spoke about my own experience with hate crimes. And I can tell you again, these things are not fun. It's a shot at your own identity, and you feel it throughout your whole body. And it really has you questioning if you really belong to this community, if you belong to this country. Having a collective voice from the city commission would mean the world, not only to me, but to other people who have experienced hate crimes as well. Just alone in Bowling Green, in 2016, there were 11 hate crimes committed, 6 on race, 2 on religion, and 3 on sexual orientation. I know that we already have agencies that are set up by the city that are designed to combat this type of hate, like the Bowling Green Human Rights Commission and our police departments that do amazing work. But it is only with the strong, unified voice that we can further combat hate. Hate that is attempting to take over our city, and that is surely not welcome here and surely not what we're about. I know the 23 years that I've lived here in the city, I know in my heart that that's not who we are. And I know every single one of you in this room know that is not who we are. And I also wanted to echo everyone else that has been thanking the mayor for coming out and speaking against that. Again, our hopes today is to get a further collective voice from the city commission to further dissuade people from committing these acts of hate, and that there won't be tolerated in our city. Thank you.
I'll keep this brief as well. I know that my name is Toby Fatsinger. I live at 1035 Kentucky Street and run a business here in Bowling Green as well. Want to thank and want to reiterate what my friends and neighbors have said. I'm really appreciative of the City Commission and the mayor for condemning this hateful act that happened at the Crown Apartments. We are here today really just asking for some acknowledgement that this is an issue and it's a growing trend here in Bowling Green and across the country. We believe in our local government. We believe in our law enforcement. We would like to work closely with those as neighbors. I don't speak for everybody. I speak for myself. But I certainly know that us being here today and the 45 signatures that you have on the proclamation in front of you indicate that there is consensus on this issue. We believe that you're acting with due diligence to combat these things. We encourage a transparency between our local government and our residents so that we know exactly how this is being handled so that we can resist this culture of fear that we're all kind of thrust into these days. Thank you very much for being here tonight.
Okay, is anyone else? All right, thank you. Then just a reminder that our next meeting is scheduled for March 6, 2018. Jennifer, would you sit down just a minute? I'm not done. Now that we're at the end of our meeting, it's not quite the end of his term, but it's the end of the last time he'll see us here. Gonna miss you, brother. Thank you for what you've done for us.
Nice act, buddy.
Thank you, Kevin, very much.